have a little chat with you about intercoolers. It's been something that I've been thinking about for a while now as I've been progressing with the mods on the car. Obviously I've gone stage 1, which you will know if you've been following my stuff, and I've also added some extra bits and bobs on the way to building up to more power. As I've been looking into the whole intercooler thing, I've seen lots and lots of different intercoolers from lots of different manufacturers, and initially I kind of thought, well, they probably all do the same kind of thing, so you know, what is the reasoning for price differences, etc. That made me kind of want to look into it a bit more, and broadly speaking what I found is there are a couple of different intercooler technologies out there. Now I'm not overly familiar with the reasoning behind choosing one or the other, which is partially the reason for this video. I want to get your opinions on what you think about the different options that are out there. So the two types of technology, I suppose you could call it, that I've found are tube and fin versus bar and plate. Now doing my research, I've found a few different reasons why one might be better than the other and the other might be better than the other. There seems to be pros and cons to both, but I probably don't have all of the information. So from what I read, tube and fin has the benefit of being lighter in general, but it is more susceptible to damage from like rocks flying through the air, especially in the front mount kind of situation, which is obviously what we have in the RS. It's a front mount intercooler, because it's got so many little fins, rocks can come in and just damage it. So another thing is that it has less flow restriction, which is a good thing because you want good flow, but then it has potentially less heat rejection, which is a negative. But then bar and plate kind of has the opposite of that, so they're less susceptible to damage, but they have better heat rejection. But then they have this negative because they tend to be sort of chunkier, which means that they block the flow through them to things that are behind it, i.e. the radiator, the being the main thing, which is a bad thing. So then you might come and look at price as for a comparison, but I mean, even within that, it can vary even within the technology, so it's not really a good metric to go on. So the question then becomes, well, would you need to just go to a trusted manufacturer? Because there are cheapo brands that you can get on like eBay and stuff, but I mean, they're probably a no-go. So I would imagine you want to stick with one of the big brands. So the big brands that I've seen then, the ones that I'm considering anyway, that a lot of people seem to talk about as being good. The obvious choice might be Mancha, and obviously if you've been following my stuff, I've been getting a lot of Mancha bits and bobs. And I mean, Mancha have proven quality, it's undeniable. They do have stock issues. I will say that as of this moment, they are out of stock of intercoolers, of course. But proven quality, they use all of the same stock mounting points. Say, like, there's a grey RS or a black RS. Now that's a good thing in a way, but it's also could be a bit of a tricky thing, because the little hook things, being a thicker than stock intercooler, I think those little hook things are kind of difficult to get up in there, so I don't know if it would be a trickier install. Other manufacturers use different little mounting brackets and things like that, which are potentially easier. So then look at Pro Alloy. Mancha have used Pro Alloy a bunch of times in the past. So Pro Alloy, it looks like a really nice intercooler. It's the same kind of technology as the Mancha one. It doesn't use the same brackets though, so it might be an easier install. It has an extra cool like air diverter, which I kind of like. Similar price, maybe I think it's actually maybe a touch more expensive than the Mancha, but it looks good. It might be a good option, maybe. So there's the Mishimoto one, which I could probably, it's a little bit on the pricey side, I think, but I could probably potentially get a little bit of discount. They have a lot of data. They make a lot of claims about like additional horsepower and all that kind of stuff, and they have a whole like engineering blog and a bunch of data to back up what they're saying, supposedly. So it might be a good shout. So then we look at Revo, big rival to Mancha. It actually looks very, very similar to the Mishimoto in terms of the technology and just how it looks even. One thing I have noticed though with the Revo is it doesn't seem to have any of the little air diverters, which is a wee bit of a negative for me, because surely those are a good thing to have, right? Over in America, there's a company called Cobb, and they do all the same kind of stuff. And what I've noticed is that their offering is very, very similar looking to Revo, and I suppose then Mishimoto as well. But the thing about it is, getting it into the UK and Ireland, it is pretty pricey to do so because it has to be imported. So we're talking like about 200 odd pounds more expensive. So I don't really see the point in getting that one. I've been reading on the forums and stuff what people are talking about, and I heard about this one based in England. I think they're handmade in England, called Wagner Tuning or Wagner Tuning, I'm not quite sure which. I've heard a lot of good things about them in terms of performance. One cool thing about them is they have like quite large inlet and outlets, and indeed they come with the matching bigger pipes, so they come with all this pipe work a little bit. I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly what the pricing is on that, but with the bigger pipes, would that actually be a negative, some people might say, or would that be a positive? Maybe it's a good thing. Has anyone ever used Wagner or Wagner Tuning? Another good one in America is ETS. A lot of people have said good things. I mean, a lot of the American forums say that, oh, my tuner says that ETS is the best ever. Maybe it is, I don't know. It comes in lots of cool colors and things like that. But again, import kind of makes it a bit more expensive in the UK and Ireland. And then a lot of people I've seen using AirTech stuff. I mean, I've got one piece of AirTech gear, which is actually very good. But the AirTech Intercooler, they make a lot of claims about it being super duper awesome, but it's oddly cheap. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Obviously, saving money is good, but it's like a good couple of £100 cheaper than any of the other ones that I've mentioned here today. So I'm kind of unsure as to why it's so cheap. Maybe someone can shed some light on that. So, you can kind of see what I'm getting at. There's so many choices. It's almost like not necessarily knowing all the ins and outs. I mean, you have to read all of the figures, and I'd almost need to do a spreadsheet of all the figures just to really see whose claims are better. But I mean, maybe they're all much of a muchness. I don't know. What experiences do you have? What do you think about intercoolers? Have you changed the intercooler on your RS? Or maybe you don't have an RS, maybe you have like an ST or something else. What company have you used? What experiences do you have with intercoolers and different intercooler technologies? Maybe you're an expert on intercoolers and you can shed some more light. Maybe I've got some of those details wrong as to the pros and cons of the different types of intercooler. So yeah, just whatever you've got, thoughts, opinions, facts, throw them into the description box down below and let's get a little discussion going, because I would really like some help in terms of just picking which intercooler I should go to. I'm working towards that stage 2 and beyond, so I'll be making a purchase at some point in the not too distant future, and any help that you can provide would be greatly, greatly appreciated. So, I mean, that's all I've got for today, just a little sort of vloggy, talky video. I hope you liked it. Please do like, share and subscribe for more content to come very, very soon. Thank you once again. Goodbye.